Hello, I'm John with DuraFinish. We're here today at our shop in Grandville, Michigan, and we're going to take this opportunity to show you how we refinish and restore clawfoot bathtubs. So we hope that this video will be informative and give you confidence in DuraFinish for your project. So this is how most tubs come to us. They've maybe been stored in a barn, a garage, maybe they've been used for feeding horses out in the farm field. This one is in typical condition of what we see. Big thing when purchasing a tub, if you're out buying one to have restored, is make sure it has all 4 feet. Sometimes we can get feet for them or have them made, but if you can get it from the beginning, that's great. So the first thing I'm going to do here is we're going to remove these feet and also the drain that's still connected. It is best when transporting these tubs to transport them with the feet off. Even though they're cast iron foot, it can still break. To remove them, in this example, you see it's just a screw. Sometimes it's just a pin, a nail, and easily removed. So to remove it, in this case, like I say, it's just a screw. So we'll just loosen that. And that comes right off. Just like that. So now that we have the feet and the drain assembly off of it, we've put the feet in the box, put the customer's name on the tub, so we keep everything together, and we'll send it to our sandblasters. So here we have a load that's ready to go to the sandblasters, and they'll just be sandblasting the outside of the tubs, not the inside. But with our load secured, we'll head there. So our tubs have arrived back from the sandblasters. So this is how they come. So here our tub's back. It's nice and clean metal. They've got off all the lead-based paint, rust, etc. Looks a lot better. Detail on the feet come out nice. This is, here you can see some information about the tub printed on the bottom. It's from Standard Sanitary Company. And then you see this is the date of its manufacturer. So September 8, 1930. Kind of cool. I've got another one here I'll show you. It's just printed on a different way. This one, you can see the date of May 11, 1914. So kind of cool. So now what we're going to do is, since we have it nice and clean, we're going to take it into the paint booth, and we'll get an epoxy primer on it right away on the outside. That way it'll make sure no new rust gets started. And then we're actually going to put the finish coat on the outside right following it, because they're just doing a white outside. So we'll get the epoxy primer on and then finish the outside. 15 minutes. And so now we're going to spray out the finish coat on the outside. And then this is the tub that we shot earlier in the day, white. You can see it finished, came out, looks real nice, got a nice gloss to it. So you can see the reflection in it. So tomorrow we'll turn it over and start working on the insides. So we're ready for our next step in the process. And now we're going to be treating the inside of the Clawfoot tub, the porcelain part. And we're going to be etching it with a hydrofluoric acid, extra strength etch. It's a water neutralized type product. And I'll be scrubbing it down with just a good old Scotch-Brite pad. And what it's going to do is it's going to deep clean that porcelain, but especially it's going to chemically sand the porcelain so it will take the coating. So we'll let you watch this on a time lapse. So our tub has been etched now. You can see it makes it nice and clean. It's just wet from water is all, but not a problem. The tub's actually in pretty good condition compared to what we see a lot of times. Only a few little nicks like that, that's easily fixed. We'll fill that with some acrylic filler, maybe some fiberglass. All just depends on how bad it is. But like I say, it's in overall, it's in really good condition. So we'll let this dry out and then we'll move on to the next step. So I just want to take a minute to show you how we take care of the feet. They've already been primed, and you can see there's a few pinholes in the cast of the foot. And so I'm just, after they've been primed and dried, you just take some caulk, acrylic paintable caulk. It's just a good, easy way to fill those so that whenever we finish them, it just cleans up the look quite a lot. And we'll show you the finishing process of that too when I get done. So I have the feet cleaned up, pinholes filled, and we're going to finish them now. Okay, so we're ready to do some repairs on these two tubs. Just going to be filling a couple of the chips that are in the tub on the edge. For that we'll use fiberglass, DuraGlass for the chip repair for the bigger ones. For the smaller stuff we'll just use an acrylic filler. This one's just got a couple spots, not bad at all. So this tub has some pinholes and chipping in the bottom, and so I'm just going to be filling this with an acrylic filler. Okay, so here's why I ended up skim filling this whole bottom. As you look, you'll see you can see where the little darker spots or red spots, whatever. It's just where the filler is filled in chips or pinholes in the finish. So we'll let that dry and we'll sand it all out. Like I say, this tub basically is in pretty good shape, but just the little nicks and things, we just try to fill them ahead of time. Makes the job nicer in the end. So it's time now to sand out our chip repairs. The blue are with the fiberglass, the red is an acrylic filler, and we'll sand those out and see how the tub looks. Okay, so now we've got an idea what the tub looks like. Not in bad shape, but I guess kind of typical. And you figure most of these tubs are in the 100-year-old range. So you can see the bottom here does have some scarring and some pock marks. So the filler has helped with that. What I'm going to do now is just get a first coat of primer on it. So our tubs have been tacked out. They're ready for final coat of primer and to start applying finish coat. For materials, what we use for the primer, we used a catalyzed epoxy primer. Epoxies are amazing as base coats or primer coats. Not so good as top coats, because they have no UV light protection, so they will chalk, fade, but this primer is excellent. The main materials we use is a product called Clawfoot. It's a yacht and aircraft coating, so it's got excellent durability. It's a little bit more expensive than most tub finishers would use. But to us, the quality is worth the cost. Spray equipment, we use high volume, low pressure spray guns. They have a low overspray. They also just lay out a real nice soft finish. There's our primer. Okay, so we have both tubs primed, and this front one actually is looking really good. This one, on the other hand, in the front corner especially, but even some of the other areas, noticed some pinholes in the porcelain yet. So we'll give it a little more primer over the next day or two and just help fill those in before we do the finish coat. First layer of top coat. We'll let that sit about 15-20 minutes and then we'll hit it again. So our tub is complete. Finish is completely dried. It's been sitting for about 3 days now to cure. The feet are not on it. They're just leaning against it just so you can kind of get an idea what it looks like. But we like to leave the feet off until, during transportation, etc. So, because even though they're metal, they can still break. We wouldn't want that to happen now. Anyway, the outside's been finished. A big difference from when it originally came in, and I'm pretty sure the customer is going to be very thrilled with their newly refinished Clawfoot tub. So we hope that we can do one for you someday, and we thank you for viewing this video with DuraFinish.